Hello friends, this is our fourth lecture on Francis Bacon of Studies. Now we have seen points up to 6. That is, we saw the benefits of studies for delight, for ornament and for ability. And then we saw this wrong use of studies. And third point we saw experience, value of experience, attitude of different people for. Then we saw also reading, the goals of reading, not to confute and contradict. And again we saw, sixth point we saw, that use your discretion, very important, because you have got many things. The market is flooded with reading materials, so you have to, same with this data, is flooded, so to say. So it is when you take, if you are in the habit of WhatsApp, addict to WhatsApp, you see, truckloads and train loads of data is coming every minute, So if you don't use your discretion, you are lost. It will be like a pathless food or a pathless jingle. Understand? So beware, that's very important. Now the seventh point is, we will try to do, if there is time, 10, 11, 12 and 13 sentences. Understand? So the 10th sentence is, you have the text with you. Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. Exactly like the first sentence. Studies serve for delight, for ornament and for ability. So reading, actually these are skills. Skills of language. Today we will say like this, LSWR. 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 What is LSWR? Listening, speaking, writing and reading skills. This is what you do in IELTS. IELTS, You have to pass tests in all this. So then you total aggregate of 7 or 6.5 or something. Some people get 9, 9.5. So that is skill. So when you see reading, it is an input skill. And conference, speaking, that is output skill. And also writing, output skill. So at the time of Francis Bacon, probably, there was no such thing as listening. Maybe it's because of that, or he might not have thought of it. Because after all, he is an Englishman, so he was listening all the time to English, so why should he say listening is a skill? I don't know, maybe. He should not give very much importance to that much we can say. So, sentence 10 deals with the skills of language, language skills. Reading maketh a full man. What is full man means? Are you a half man? No. It's knowledgeable person. Knowledge. Yes. And somebody says about something, say for example, the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. Oh yeah, that is written by Toynbee. It's no holiness. See? Why is like that? You know the reason. Or is somebody says, see, the British crown is the guarantee. So what is the importance of British crown? What do you mean by British crown? A crown can do no wrong. So these are statements like that, about the British Queen and British kings. Crown can do no wrong. Why? Because the actual administration is done by the Prime Minister, not the Queen. So how can you do wrong? So when you hear something, what is it? No pain, no gain. Immediately you should be able to give a brief note or a brief lecture on that. So that is knowledge. If you don't know, then you will just blink like that. Crown, British crown, is it? Decline and fall of Roman Empire. So it makes you full. Means when in any situation, when people ask you doubt, you should be in a position to clarify those doubts. So only then you can call yourself a full man. That is the meaning of full man. Knowledge. Conference readiness, speaking. So, in your job selection, group discussion. Why are you conducting group discussion? In training centers, we have got group discussion. See, I told you, after my retirement, I was working in engineering college. In fact, 2 engineering colleges I was working. So one of the reasons why an English teacher was taken there was to conduct group discussion. That is conference. So if you practice group discussion, when you have got in a job situation, group discussion, it becomes easy. Otherwise, you will sit there. Suppose somebody starts like this. So the problem is given to that is, say, international terrorism. No, you discuss. So if you don't know anything about that, you are not ready to tell international terrorism. I have heard of international films and international sports and so on, not terrorists. But if you know, if you have been speaking, or if you have done a number of group discussions, immediately you will say, yes, it is a very important point now these days, it is a burning issue, and you go on saying like this. That's because if you have got practice. Otherwise, one day I remember I was conducting a group discussion like this, but before that I told them a story, to open their mouth. Then I said a very small story. Then I asked them, come on, you said, you people, you start telling the story. One by one you tell the story. They cannot, they were simply sitting like that. But after 2 or 3 classes means this on the job classes, so to say, conducting group discussions, then it becomes very easy for them. So conference makes you a ready man. See, this you have seen news conferences now by the interviews and so on. So when the reporters ask questions to the ministers, they immediately give a reply. The reply may be right or wrong. That's a different thing. But you just immediately speak out. That's because they are so familiar with it. See, I have read like this, that even American presidents, see Kennedy, for example, John F. Kennedy, I have read somewhere that there is a press conference, then there will be a rehearsal before that. Suppose tomorrow there is a press conference, then today there will be a rehearsal. All the ministers, secretaries they call. He will call all the secretaries to his Oval Office and then ask them to ask questions on various topics. And only then, the next day, he will appear before a group of reporters or newsmen to interact with them in a press conference. See, such great people. See that even they are practicing. Without practice makes a perfect man, isn't it? So, reading maketh a full man, but practice makes a perfect. Maketh, that is the 14th century, 15th century and so on. English, that is, in fact, maketh is a dialect. Loveth and so on. In the history of language, you will find there are 3 dialects: East Midland, West Midland, and then 4 dialects: Northern, Southern, East Midland, and West Midland. So East Midland and West Midland together you call Midland dialects. It was from the Midland dialects that today's standard English evolved. So Midland dialect was used by Chaucer. It was used by people in London. So the language, the variety of language used in a metropolis like London later became the standard English. So that is the evolution of, you can go through my lectures, I have given you all about 59 lectures on this. It is really useful, you can go there. Okay, so conference are ready man. So you practice. And writing and exactment, very important. See, in our days, I don't know in your days what you do, but in our days we used to write just one essay. So for preparing for those days there were essay questions. So we'll say, the Bacon style. We will write 3 to 4 pages essay, give it to our professor, he will correct it. Again he will say rewrite, we will write and again give back. And like that 2 or 3 times we will write and he will correct and then it becomes perfect. He will write fair, and he will write his initial, NSS. NSS means N.S. Subramanian. Professor N.S. Subramanian. He was my teacher and he was a great man. Inspiring professor. So he would write like this, fair, and then write NSS. That means sometimes half a dozen times you will have to write the same thing. He was such a great man that he was so humble that he used to correct and give it back. See, that's the thing. Means he was so devoted, so committed. Otherwise, at the MA level and so on, I don't know how many people will be doing that. Okay, so that's a different thing many people will be doing. Let us be optimistic. Okay. So the writing and exactment. See, I'll tell you. A word like this, anapest. See, anapest. That is the name of a meter in English. So, anapest. We will say, read it. We have tendency to write it like this. Well, if you don't write it and practice that word, you will write like that. Otherwise, if you read it and then write, then you will write like this. See, this is not pronounced, but it is there. How do you know this? Not just by listening and keeping in memory, no, but writing. Writing is very, very important. I always tell my students, whatever you do, please write and bring to me. You write, don't come and tell me. You come and you bring something, a script with you. That is it. Because only by writing you can correct your mistakes. Self-correction also will do. So, very, very important, these three skills. What is reading? It will make you a knowledgeable person. So, you are a person with knowledge. You will be able to speak on anything. Then, conference, ready wit. Ready wit means you make you a ready man, means ready to talk. That is ready man, means ready to talk. And writing and excitement. Understand? We say like this, speeches of soliloquies of Hamlet, very often, or sonnets of Shakespeare. Very often you have to quote lines in your examination, your answer books. So what do you do? Just reading and memorizing will not do. You have to write it black and white. And then comma, semicolon, full stop, question mark, everything will come automatically in the answer book or the answer script. Otherwise, you will be wondering, was there a question mark? Was there a comma or a semicolon or a full stop? Like that. Understand? So, very important. So, reading is actually an input, then a conference, means speaking, writing. So, you have what now already? So, reading, writing, speaking. Speaking is conference. And plus listening. Very important. Listening is also very important. Go on, listen. It can be watching movies or listening to stories. Now these days you get these things in the market. You get a chip, and that chip there may be 1000 stories also. You can just listen and or listen to English music and so on. Okay, I think that is clear now to you. Then he says, suppose you don't do these things, what will happen? You don't read, you don't speak, you don't write. Then what kind of a man you should be? You should be an extraordinary person. And therefore, if a man writes little, in our modern English we will say, if a man writes, but those days English was not standardized. Actually, English was standardized in the 18th century by publication in 1765, publication of the first dictionary of the English language by Dr. Samuel Johnson. Listen, he was the first lexicographer. Lexicography means dictionary writing. So lexicographer, lexicographer, lexicographer. So dictionary writer. So it was he who fixed spellings, and during those days there were grammarians also. They gave almost final shape to English grammar. Understand? Yes. Rudiments of English grammar. There was a great Bishop Lowe. So before that, 16th century, Even Shakespeare, you will find, he is making not mistakes. It was the way language was used those days. It was not fixed. Then spelling was not fixed, grammar was not fixed. That's why you can make it. It's a dialect. There's a form used in a dialect, not standard language. And so here you can see, therefore if you man write a little, you will think, you see, Bacon has made a mistake. No. How can Bacon make a mistake? How can Shakespeare make a mistake? And therefore if a man write little, he need to have great memory. Suppose you don't write anything, you are always, yes. But in that case, you should be gifted with such wonderful memory. Understand? Even you can see, I will give you an example. See, you might have traveled by bus, you see the conductor there, how he remembers everything. He stopped, somebody has to get down here, 3 people have to get down here. He is not writing, he is only giving ticket. I think the person who is gifted with wonderful memory are these conductors of buses. Another example I will give you. If you go to middle as a range hotel, not a high 5-star answer. 5-star, what is it? They come, or 3-star, they come and take all this list, the menu, what do you want and so on. But in a medium type hotel, if you go, the waiter comes and says, what do you want? And then you give half a dozen items. Next person, he give another half. In canteen you can see. Or says, but he remembers all these things and he comes without making any mistake. If you have asked a tea without, he knows. This another person, plenty of sugar, he knows how to do it. This is wonderful memory. Yes. Isn't it? Yeah. Doctors, they are also so wonderful memory. They don't write down these things, no? But they remember, I said this. So this is people. So if you don't, and therefore if a man write little, he must, there are some students in the class, they just listen and go. They don't write anything. But they are exceptional people. I am talking about, or Bacon is talking about ordinary people. So very little, he needs to have great memory. I told you, I think I have told you somewhere, 434 lines of T.S. Eliot's poem, The Wasteland, I learned by heart in 2017, 2 years ago. And then I have recited that and posted it in YouTube. You can see that if you want. I made 1 or 2 mistakes here and there, and I apologize for that also. Because if I think that if I have to do it again, definitely there will be more mistakes. That doesn't mean that I have a great memory, but it took about 10 months for me to learn this by heart. Because when I used to write in a piece of paper for 5 or 6 lines and then put it in my pocket. When I am traveling by bus, I will take it out and read. So I did not waste much time, but the traveling time and somewhere if I had to wait, so for in an office, I want to see somebody in the office, I have to wait outside, then I will take this and read. Thus, about 10 months of hard work. See, April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring the roots with the spring tree. So, then that is 2 years ago. Now I am just remembering that winter kept us warm, and so on. Now winter kept us warm, feeding a little life with dried tubers, covering earth in forgetful snow. So I think I have done it. I did it in say 2 years ago. I said. Now by chance I remembered that, so I was trying to recite that. Understand? Yeah. So you can do it, but in that case I wrote down how many times I used to take 10 lines and then try to record in my memory. When I come back home, I write down. And then I cross-check. Many times I did like this, as I managed to do it. That is. So therefore, if a man write little, he had to have a great memory. If he confer little, he had to have a present wit. Confer means if he doesn't speak, he doesn't go take assignments in group discussion, then he must have. So there are some people who are born like that. Film actors, for example, they are born. They are present with means ready with. Present tense, not present tense, but the wit should be present with them always. Wit means the ability to talk, wisdom, the brain. It should be brainy, or he should be wit, not that that dictionary meaning of wit, the sense that a witty person, not that. It's not that. Here wit means must have such good brain. And if you read little, see reads little, he need to have a much cunning to seem to know that he does not. If you don't read anything, you have no idea about it. But you must be a clever person to show others, to show off that, oh, I know all these things. We say, somebody says like this, oh, the Edward Husserl's theories, oh yes, you don't know, you never heard of that, but you join. Yes, Edward Husserl, a great name, yes, philosophy and theology, you do not do any work on theology, but you just say like that. If the persons who are talking or listening, if they don't know, it's okay, understand. Or sometimes what happened, they will say that, I think the First World War took place somewhere in 1945. But you are saying, qualifying your statement by I think, so no problem. That is the thing. So like this, you should be in a position to act out. You should be so clever to seem to know that you don't know what you don't know. So you will say, that Chintan, oh yes, that is a great poem. Just got somebody will say three parts. Understand? Or is it? No, that is a great poem of Robert Frost. I just forgot that. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Oh, it's a wonderful poem. How many lines? 100 lines. Only. How many stanzas we know? Then somebody will laugh. You see, I just forgot the exact number of lines, that's all. That is a famous line, I know what is that. That they sleep and so on. So you have to pretend that you, even if you haven't read, you can pretend like this. And always, if you qualify your statement, I think, then you are on the safe side. Don't worry about that. Understand? So that is, you know what Bacon said about his essay. He said, brief notes set down rather significantly. Brief notes. He said about his essay, he said, my essays are brief notes. Rather set down, that is his own words, set down significantly than anxiously. So that significantly is important. Significantly than anxiously. So he says, all those things what I have told you, they are very significant in your life. So reading maketh the full man, conference a ready man, and I am writing an exact man. And he qualifies the statement by saying 11th, and therefore if a man write little, he need have great memory. If he confer little, he need to have a person with, means gifted with. There are some people gifted like that. And if he read little, he must pretend that he knows things. And then 8th point is impact of various subjects. There are various subjects, that is the 8th point. Histories make men wise. Why? Because history repeats itself. If you are a general, you should study the strategies used by Napoleon. But at the same way, Napoleon was defeated. So if you know this, you will not repeat that mistake. Or why Nelson became a great general, see, naval battle. So such things. Or What are the qualities of that made Caesar the emperor, the de facto emperor of Rome? And what happened to him? Why he failed? At the end of this tragedy, why? He could have just skipped that session, isn't it? Why did he go there? He could have skipped it. Although, ambition will definitely take you to your own tragedy from Macbeth you can. Also, this unnecessarily doubting the people, that would be again another problem that may lead you to your tragedy. Listening to the supernatural creatures, as Bango says, it gives direction to Macbeth. These people, they shall have to take you to dangerous points. Understand? So that is, histories make men wise. So you say, I will not do that. Poets witty. Witty there again means give wisdom. You have miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. Wisdom. That is packed wisdom, isn't it? Don't stop seeing or don't get attracted to unnecessary things like WhatsApp and Facebook and all those things, but you have miles to go before you sleep. It gives you wisdom. How many students are now losing their career, spoiling their career just because of this excess use of social media, addicted to social media. Drugs, for example, another one. So if you know that in the last batch or say your seniors, few of your seniors who were so brilliant but became drug addicts and they spoiled their career and life, if you know this, that's a history, then what will happen is that you will not do it. So histories make you wise, and then you will avoid such things. And poets witty, say like this: life is a tale told by idiot and smart. That's a great. That is really the philosophy of life. Okay? Or you see the wide people, the Hamlet says, this committing to be or not be, says, but that undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns puzzles the will and make us rather suffer these ills which we have than to fly to those that we know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all. See, why he doesn't commit suicide? He says, when you have unshuffled, when we will have unshuffled this, shuffled off this mortal coil. So this is mortal coil. When we shuffle off, what is remaining, what is awaiting us, we don't know. That undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns. Bourne means silence. Many people these days say that when they die, they will take a mobile phone with them. Because when they reach there, if there is range, they can contact people in this world. Understand that? But nobody is going to come back. Nobody has so far. So far, no one has come back. Isn't it? So that is wit. Poets witty, wisdom. Don't commit suicide. Life, you have only once. Only once you can see this world and this beautiful world. Someday, see that? Nature. And just one sun rising. That is water splendid. What a magnificent sight is that. Just stand and look eastward. And that Shakespeare says that is, Hamlet says that the morning russet mantle clad walks over yon high eastern hill. Such lines. Isn't it? So, poets will tell you, read poetry. One of the problems that we face today, I should not say like this, but I think that so-called functional English has come in. With that, literature has disappeared. Every student in the university should study at least some literature. There is some poets like, if God is in his heaven, everything is well with the world. What an optimist. Or then as Shelley cries out, no, that is, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? Hopeful. Hope, it gives hope to mankind. Hope to everyone. So poets witty and mathematics subtle. Subtle means hidden. But here it is means clever. Clever. Reasoning, power of reasoning. Intellectual, it is a booster dose your intellect. If you mathematics, say proving a theorem, or you have got a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now you try to prove it. That's a statement, but you prove it. So that problem will tax your brain. So your brain will get energized. That is it. So mathematics subtle. It will definitely, like playing chess it is. And logic and rhetoric able to condemn. Condemn means argue. If you have logic, means reasoning. Scientific reasoning, that is logic. If you say one form of reasoning in logic is called deductive logic. General statement, particular, and then comes. So for example, all men are mortal. You are a man, you are mortal. That is an argument. Or all men are mortal, Ashok is a man, so Ashok is mortal. So that's kind of logic. That's what we said, logic. You derive from there is another way of argument also called inductive. I don't want to enter into all those things, see. Or sometimes you may be saying that I am pretending my knowledge. No, I have not time actually. That is not the point here. Yeah. So here, so philosophy, natural philosophy deep. What is natural philosophy? Biology and zoology. That is evolution of this world. So natural philosophy. Philosophy means philia, sophia. Philia means love. Sophia means wisdom. Wisdom, love of wisdom. That's Greek word. Philia. Philosophy, no? Philia, yes. Philia, Sophia. So that is, these are the two words, philia, sophia. And then that is philosophy. So that is any love of wisdom, love of knowledge is philosophy. Natural philosophy means no natural world. The philosophy, the knowledge of the natural world. It makes you deep. See, just Mendel, who found out that genetics, who laid the foundations of genetics. So it made how many times he might have gone through his experiments in those days, years ago, to find out why certain things is inherited. Understand? You plant a coconut, that will never become a mango tree. Why? Because of genetics. So this was found out by Mendel. There is a monk, he was a monk. So natural philosophy will make you deep. Theory of evolution, if you study, it makes you go deep, research mind. Only a person who has got a research mind can take up natural philosophy. Other subjects also, but in this case, natural philosophy deep. Life sciences again, medicine. That is curative, the therapeutic part of natural philosophy, you can say. Searching, inquisitive. So that is natural philosophy deep. You find a flower. Yesterday you saw bud. Today you see flower. If you are an inquisitive person, how did this happen? Like that, I am just giving you a simple example. So inquisitive, logic and rhetoric. That is the art of persuading people. That is the art of speaking. Understand? Oratory. This. Demosthenes was the greatest of all orators. Pandit Nehru was a great orator. You remember Hitler, great orator. That is rhetoric, the power of rhetoric. Able to conduct. Lawyers are great orators. Yes, that's the best thing. Lawyers, able to argue. Even if you find there is, for sure, this fellow has not done a mistake. But a lawyer can, so that's why it's the law is an ass. You can do anything with the law. You can prove or you can disprove. Disprove. So these are necessary for you, like pruning by study. Remember that, pruning by study. So mathematics is like a pruning for your brain. Natural philosophy again is a pruning for your intellectual research. Logic and natural philosophy, yes. And then logic and rhetoric, it is a pruning for your, or a booster. Gives a booster dose to you for able to conduct. Conduct means to argue. Low point in it, So the lawyers, they argue basis of low point, that is logic, and also rhetoric. So, you can see. When you use your rhetoric, you can use your body language. So I say, like, you say that. Sometimes teachers will say, I say, get out. Now nobody will say like this. That is rhetoric. Then he will go. The student, however belligerent is he, will be fighting type, he will go. So you understand that. So let's say, reading makes a full man, means a knowledgeable person. Conference ready man means ready to speak, and writing an exact man means there will be no spelling mistake. If you write and practice, there will be no spelling mistake. Therefore, if a man write little, he must have good memory. Confer little, he must have ready wit. And third is read little, he must pretend to know what he does not know. Understand? And then he says different books, the subjects. Histories make wise because you know the faults of others. Then poets witty means wisdom, gives wisdom to you. Already we have seen that. Mathematics subtle, mathematics requires proving things. No? Proving, not pruning but proving. So that requires what is very clever. You should be very clever. And natural philosophy deep means gives you, makes you inquisitive and takes you to research. Logic and rhetoric able to conduct. I think of a lawyer or a great speaker like that. And third is it's a habit of quoting Latin sentences, from Latin. Actually, Bacon was not very happy with English. What he used to do, even I read somewhere, again I don't remember exactly, I read somewhere that he used to write, he preferred writing his important books in Latin first and then translate into English, because English was a developing language, Latin was a developed language, and Latin and Greek, they were the languages used by scholars during those days. So Bacon was more interested in writing in Latin than directly writing in English. So that's why whenever he gets a chance, he would quote from Latin. Abeunt studia in mores. We have already done that. See, abeunt, etc. we are pronouncing because English, Latin is a phonetic language. Phonetic language means you read and write in the same way. English is unphonetic language. You read and write in one way and read in another way. That is unphonetic. You write like this, neighbor. What is the spelling of neighbor? Then you read it neighbor, isn't it? D-E-B-T you write and then you read it as debt, not debit. So in the same way, it will become Tibet after some day. So then, that's why. So, as it is written, abeunt means pass into, go into. Abeunt studia in mores means studies pass into nature. That is the impact of studies. That is, he says, just before that we saw, no? Histories make men wise. Studies pass into nature. So you will be influenced by what you read. That's the meaning. Simple language. You will be influenced by what you read. If you read philosophy, you will be influenced by philosophy. If you read film stories, you will be influenced by film stories. If you read dictatives, then dictative stories, like that. So he says, studies, this is a conclusion, you can say. Histories make men wise. If you read history, you will become wise. Poets witty, you will become witty. Witty means wisdom. That's the thing. Wisdom. Okay? And then say you get the what do you call the inner meaning of things. This wisdom, inner meaning, isn't it? You get a kind of intuition. See, I just now I told you, life is not life is a day that is from the undiscovered country whose born means silence, no traveler returns, etc. That's wisdom, isn't it? Yes. So mathematics, if you do mathematical problem and you become very clever. Natural philosophy, then you will feel like conducting research, taking up research, logic and trick. And that is why he says, obeying the studia in modus. So if you read history, that will influence. If you read poets, that will influence. If you study mathematics, that will influence. If you study natural philosophy, that will pass into your nature. If you logic and rhetoric, that also will pass into your nature. I think it's all right for today. Bye. See you again. Hope that you have been following and you are enjoying my classes. It is a great pleasure that if you are enjoying my classes, it is a great pleasure for me also. See, studies serve for delight. Delight means pleasure. This is also studies. You are listening, I am speaking. This is study, isn't it? Of studies. So studies serve for delight, for ornament and for ability. So delight means pleasure. Bye. See you again. If you have got any doubt, you can ask me. You can post it in my, get into my channel, or how do you do it? I don't know. I am getting sometimes many remarks and their opinions from students. How do you do it? I don't know. See, I don't know much about computers. That's all what I know is to copy and then to upload. These are the two things that I know. I don't want to pretend and tell you that I know everything about computer. That will be a pretension. So okay. So okay. See you again with the remaining. How many sentences more that we have to do? We have 13 sentences. We have done at least half a dozen sentences. I think it will be over by maximum 2 classes or maximum 3 classes. Depends. You are following anything. Bye. See you again.